Hello everyone and welcome back to my B&B Everyday YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Ridge could move Taylor to take a big vault forward as a couple. There's formerly been some talk about Taylor and Ridge living together again, but perhaps remarriage could be on the horizon too. That would clearly soak for Brook Logan after the way Ridge dragged his bases on divorcing her. Ridge tried to act like it was a been there, done that sort of thing with Brook, but he might have a different opinion with Taylor soon enough. Ridge might whisk Taylor off to some fantastic locale and get caught up in the moment with her there. We can clearly fantasize Ridge blurting out an offer and satisfying Taylor to marry him ASAP. Taylor and Ridge might elope during their romantic flight, so they could give their family updates on some instigative news latterly. Could Ridge and Taylor come home as a wedded couple? Can you imagine Brook's affrighted and furious response if Taylor becomes the new Mrs. Forrester so fluently? Steffi is thrilled over her parents' reunion, but she's been a little nervous about Ridge's track record. Taylor has a fragile heart, so Steffi doesn't want Ridge to beget further pain for her mama. Ridge might eventually decide to give Taylor a huge commitment as a way to prove his love. We might see Ridge pledge to be with Taylor ever, indeed if ever, no way turns out to be veritably long on a cleaner. How would you feel about Taylor and Ridge eloping? Is Taylor making a mistake by trusting Ridge with her heart? Or is he truly committed to her this time around? Taylor and Ridge's future will come with some intriguing twists and turns, so we'll bring you more prognostications on any major mileposts. Steffi will head back to the office and act like she's ready to hit the ground running when it comes to making Forrester the stylish it can be. Nonetheless, Hope will remain on edge over Steffi's unforeseen change of heart and ulterior motives. Despite Steffi's attempt to vend Hope on the idea of working in harmony, Hope will quiz her and feel like there's further to her docket. Meanwhile, Taylor will enjoy a little further cling time with Ridge, but it won't be long until she's forced to deal with Brook wrath. Brook will rip into Taylor for jumping at the chance to get back together with Ridge, but Taylor may argue that Brook's the bone who drove him down. Although Brook tried to explain her study process when it came to accepting the CEO position, Ridge doesn't agree with how she handled effects and still feels betrayed. Of course, Brook feels enough betrayed as well considering how presto Ridge turned to Taylor. Brook shoved Taylor lately on her way out the door, but she'll launch a real battle with her. Taylor and Brook are gearing up for a major showdown that's sure to get explosive on both sides. Speaking of explosive showdowns, one is coming up for Lee and Poppy as well. Lee just showed Poppy the evidence that Tom is not Luna's father, and suggested they both knew who Luna's pater truly was. On Friday's show, Lee will charge Poppy of having a fling with Jack that redounded in her gestation all those times agone. Will Poppy break down and confess that Lee is right? It's clearly possible that Jack is Luna's father since all signs point to them covering up an old affair. Jack surely has affection for Poppy, and is a known cheater considering what happened with Sheila. Still, the show's also dropped enough hints to potentially reveal that Poppy hooked up with Finn around the time of Luna's generality. Still, also it makes sense for Poppy to lie and say it was Jack now that Lee's backed her into this corner, if Finn is Luna's bio-pater. Whatever the case, Poppy will probably admit Jack is Luna's bio-pater. So we'll see if that's the full story or not. Poppy and Lee's sweepstakes will bring some tough feelings, so stick with us for further prognostications on the coming chapter, and updates on any other maternity news. Lee summoned Poppy to her office, where Poppy was shocked over her family having Tom liver. Poppy didn't understand what was going on, but Lee started playing up how surprised Poppy must have been when Luna outfitted the maternity test that made Bill look like her father. Lee wondered if Poppy let herself believe the taradiddle, but Poppy claimed Tom was Luna's father and acted like none of this signified now. Still, Lee was determined to answer a question that had visited her for times. Poppy blurted out that she was a terrible mama since she assumed that's what Lee wanted to hear. After Poppy asked why Lee had always been so mean to her and questioned why she had Tom's liver, Lee confessed she had Luna's blood sample too. Lee ultimately admitted she ran another maternity test and verified Tom wasn't Luna's father, but she suggested to Poppy that they both knew who was. Poppy stood there looking shamefaced and concerned about what was coming. At Bill's manse, Will wanted Bill's help to drop Elektra deepfakes online, so Bill agreed he'd get in touch with his people. It sounded like Bill was trying to get relief of Will, so Will questioned his pater. Bill pretended to have a business deal on his mind, but Will was skeptical. Although Will suggested perhaps all the Luna drama was still bothering his father, Bill claimed he'd been suitable to put effects into perspective. Will eventually let it go for now, but he remained concerned about Bill's cagey jest. After Will said he was glad Luna didn't turn out to be his family, he took off. Luna came out of caching and wondered about Will's response if he said about everything Bill had done to help her. Bill was eager to keep Will out of all this and allowed. It was stylish for Luna to avoid talking about the history. Although Luna had wanted Bill to be her father, Bill claimed Tom was her pater, and acted like that was that. At the Forrester manse, Steffi gave Ridge and Eric some positive updates since Carter agreed to bring her back at Forrester Creations. That put Steffi a step closer to her thing of getting control of the company and putting the Forresters in charge again. Latterly, Daphne stopped by, so Ridge met her and learned she was going to be a pivotal part of Steffi's plot. Now that Daphne was working on the scent line, she was in the high position for what Steffi wanted. Daphne was the kind of seductive, confident woman that no man could say no to, not indeed Carter. Steffi suggested that Carter and Hope presented themselves as a strong couple, but she was interested to see what would be with Daphne in the blend. That news left Ridge smiling over Steffi's sneaky plan. At Forrester Creations, Carter understood why Hope would be cautious about Steffi's return, but he offered consolation and played up the benefits of having a Forrester at the company. Carter eventually acted like their love was unbreakable, so Hope kissed him, though she still looked concerned over his shoulder as they hugged. Hope and Carter's bond wavering thanks to Daphne's forthcoming moves, so don't miss all the marvels ahead. Carter and Hope will have to figure out if they're truly meant to last. We've got some February sweeps busters for you, so let's dive in and bandy all the action ahead. For starters, Ridge will fall indeed harder for Taylor as they get their life together back on track. Unfortunately, Taylor's feud with Brook is only going to get worse. Of course, Ridge has a habit of going back to Brook sooner or laterly, so Taylor could be setting herself up for desolation. Taylor should be on pall 9 during February reaches, but will she eventually lament giving her heart to Ridge again? Now that Steffi is back at Forrester Creations, you can go Hope will be watching her like a jingoist. That's exactly what Steffi's counting on, since Daphne will be doing the real work on her secret plan. While Hope's upset about Steffi, she may not notice Daphne's growing grip on Carter. Daphne's going to put Hope and Carter to the test as a couple, so we'll see if Carter surrenders to any temptation down the road. Anyhow, Daphne's incense line will delight Carter and give her the perfect occasion to grow near to him. Daphne tried to put Carter under her spell and set the stage for the Forresters to end up back in power. As for Zend, he may come more equivocal about his own part at Forrester Creations. Although Zend has pledged family fidelity, he'll get a chance to shine as a developer and may reevaluate his station if the company thrives under Carter's leadership. On another note, some Luna drama will explode on multiple situations. Whether Luna's true father is Jack or indeed Finn, in yet another maternity twist, some Nozawa family chaos is brewing. It looks like Poppy, Lee and Jack will all get tangled up in Luna's plot with Bill as well. The house arrest situation that Bill arranged won't stay under wraps for long. All the Luna mayhem could play a part in the challenge that's brewing for Steffi and Finn's marriage in the not-too-distant future. We'll pass along updates as further news comes in about Finn and Steffi's forthcoming relationship fermentation. We should also talk about devious Remy and whatever he might be cooking up next. February sweep seems like the ideal time for Remy to escape and beget further problems for Elektra along with Will. Luna's preoccupation with Will is going to grow stronger during February sweeps too, so new issues should be in store for Will and Elektra soon enough. The month ahead will bring plenitude of wild story developments, so stick with us for other plot prognostications and February sweeps busters.